And we continue to ring in the New You week on Access Carolina. If your New Year's resolution has to do with smoking or alcohol cessation, you're talking about overcoming addiction, and it's good to get advice from the experts. Jessica Owens is here from the Phoenix Center to walk us through some things. Glad you're here. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
First, what are the general challenges that somebody's facing when they're trying to quit or cut back on addictive substances? It's not an easy thing to do.
It is definitely not easy. When anyone tries to make any type of change in their life, it seems like all the attention goes to that area. So all of a sudden now when I go in the gas station, I'm going to see those cigarettes, I'm going to see that beer, and it may trigger me even more to want to use.
Yeah, it's all around you with social media too, so and we'll get into that, but you've got good advice for people that want to overcome addiction, some tips. Number one, you say stay away from situations that encourage use. What kinds of situations, what do we need to know?
Right, so I need to know my triggers. I may need to avoid some friends for a while. I may even have to avoid some family gatherings where substance use may take place. I may have to take a different route on my way home from work because I know I'm going to pass by that liquor store that I'm used to stopping at. Or even when I get gas, I might have to use my debit card at the pump instead of going inside the store.
But you've got to be a step ahead and keep yourself away from that physical thing, and then there are ways to do that if you're serious. And if you don't want to try to get through this alone, you say you want to reach out to somebody in the recovery community. That really helps to have that support.
Right, there are so many people in long-term recovery in our area, and they are willing to help. Back many years ago, you may have only heard about Alcoholics Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous, but now there's other options like Celebrate Recovery, Favor here in Greenville and the upstate, and things like Smart Recovery. So always reaching out to someone who can understand you and help get you through those times.
Yes, and somebody who's been there and really can relate makes a difference. And then you say remove all the substances from home. This is that proactive step. You want to make sure to take the action that the thing you're trying to quit isn't accessible. So what do we need to do?
Right, so just think about that. Even think about food. If my goal for the new year is to not eat Doritos, right, but they're in my pantry, I'm probably going to get those Doritos before the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So if I remove those substances like the alcohol, the cigarettes, and the drugs from my home, then that puts a step in between me and that use where I actually have to leave my home. And hopefully during that time, I can call that support person and hopefully make that change that I want to and not use.
That's right. You're putting a hurdle in your way. I mean, you still physically can get in your car and drive there to get there, but maybe at some point you'll think better. And then you say engage in positive activities to replace that negative stuff. You have to fill the void, right?
Right, I need to get up and do something. For some people, it's journaling, it's reading, and maybe going out, taking that walk, getting back into the gym. Sometimes we give up things that we used to enjoy when we're using substances. So if I get back involved in those activities, it can fill those voids in my life.
And then this is kind of another part of, I guess, removing your access to the substances. But you got to get rid of the numbers and the contacts from social media, the people who are users or dealers. And it's not enough to cut the substance. You got to get rid of that phone number and that contact info.
Definitely, I need to go through my phones. I need to delete these phone numbers so I don't have easy access to these individuals. Same thing with social media. It can be very dangerous. I can just be scrolling through and see individuals that I know who are using, and that may trigger me. So maybe for now, unfriending those people or maybe hiding those posts from my feed.
Yep. At Phoenix Center, I know you've got a lot of resources. You got a lot of programs that help with treatment and prevention. What's the message that you say, anybody watching that just, whatever it is they're struggling with, it doesn't have to be the most major addiction in the world, but what can they do to be better in the new year?
Right, so we have a very large continuum of services at the Phoenix Center. So maybe you're not to that point where you feel like I have a severe substance use disorder, but maybe I just want some early intervention. So we have prevention all the way to treatment services. And number one, if you feel like you need help, just reach out, come talk to us, and we'll see what we can do to help you.
Yeah, and looking on your website, there are classes and programs available for anybody who wants to better themselves in a lot of ways.
Yes, we have services in outpatient and our inpatient facilities.
Yep, excellent. Well, is the new year a time where you're seeing a lot of people come to you for help? Does it really, when the calendar changes, people say, new me? Do you find that a lot?
We do. We find that people, especially after New Year's, that they really want to change, especially their drinking. There are a lot of obstacles coming up. We still have football season going on. So that can be a trigger. So definitely taking these steps to get the support and make those New Year's resolutions come true.
Yeah, when I thought of you, we did so many dry January types of stories, and it's something that people want to experiment with for the month of January, but a lot of them are on the road to something greater.
Right.
You find that to be?
We do find that to be true. And with dry January, a lot of times what people find is it's a lot harder to quit than they realize. And that's when I realized, wow, my alcohol use actually was a lot worse than I thought it was all those years.
Yeah, it took that to realize it. Well, anybody wanting to reach out knows how to get a hold of you. The information for the Phoenix Center, we'll have that on screen and, of course, on accesscarolina.com. Jessica, thank you so much and have a great new year.
Thank you.